1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
This is the greatest boxing event ever! Directorneal making his first ever debut! Mine? Cat! Directorneal gets knocked out!
A fearless warrior that has the will to carry the legacy of his father and even go way beyond his father's accomplishments. Going back from this juggernaut of a man to a scared little boy that is lost in the chaos of his own creation. Adonis Creed opened his eyes to a world without a dad, only hearing other people talk about this legend of a fighter, and Adonis having to get out from under his shadow. Throughout that journey, Adonis met the people that believed in him to live up to what his father was. And he fought through it all, learning a valuable lesson with every match he lost, getting rid of his ego and believing in the process, therefore becoming one of the best of the best. But due to Adonis' obsession over being the best, he forgot about the person he once cared for, Damian Anderson. A childhood friend that sacrificed 18 years of his life for Adonis to have his. He never took a second to think of his best friend that gave him this opportunity. If someone's commenting down below, that's not true, his mom, blah blah blah, and they're probably mad, start calling me corny. I'm the corny kid. I just wanted to talk from Damian's perspective because the movie didn't bother to. It kept exploring Adonis and only him, making this hero journey concept redundant. The main reason why the first two movies of Creed actually worked was because we got the chance to explore and watch Adonis interact with other characters instead of watching him only. Because it's not about Adonis, he's merely the lens that we see through to explore the world of Creed. Now my question is, did this movie actually bring something new to the table? And my answer kind of splits into two answers here. Now, from a cinematographic aspect, they definitely upped their game. Adding these split-second vertical effects was something insane to see. So yes, in terms of cinematography and editing, it was something new. And my other answer is no, because they were just basically trying to make the movie Warrior, but their movie just wasn't as touching for me. They were so focused on elevating their production than expanding on the story. Knowing that there's a fourth Creed movie coming, I still think that this movie is a money grab. They could have made a movie that's 2 hours and 40 minutes that is much more elaborate and consistent on both sides. It felt rushed and not well thought through. For God's sake, the movie Warrior has a lower budget, and they still delivered. And that by itself is a testament that they were so focused on the production side and not the story. My other question is, does every movie have to deliver something new? No, of course. But that movie could strive to do something out of the ordinary, especially if that filmmaker is planning on making a trilogy. And when it came to Creed 3, they just wanted to flex their camera work on us, which was phenomenal, by the way. Can't deny that, but people missed on things that could have made the movie better. Not enough time to get to know the characters and their struggles, creative decisions that aren't that effective, lost potential. This movie took the same idea, and they probably knew that it wasn't going to be as efficient as the movie Warrior. Because if you're presenting two characters that once were like brothers, then immediately neglect one side and only let us see from one perspective, you're ruining the whole idea of having the two characters as brothers. Because I wanted to see what Damian went through, just to make the last fight more emotional. There's a lot of movies about boxing. A robot boxer, a female boxer, a boxer without a wife, a boxer that's a priest, anything your heart desires. All of these movies have something in common, and that is the warrior mentality, never giving up, leaving little nuggets that made each one of them special in their own way. But when you add in the perspective and show us the motives and the desperation of both sides, it resembles life. Life is much more complex than we think. And when you have that element added into the movie, eliciting emotions from the viewer will be much easier. I had no empathy for Damian. I didn't get the chance to feel his pain, and turning him to a villain surely didn't help. Making Tommy's character mysterious and at the same time giving us a glimpse of multiple issues he faced added so much to the story. The fact that he had to numb his pain by relying on drugs revealed something vulnerable about him. And no matter how big and strong Tommy is, deep down he's still that lonely, desperate kid that got abandoned by his loved ones. This complex triangle between the brothers and their father blurred everything in terms of what's right and what's wrong. And that's why people were shedding tears. They knew everyone was in pain. Tommy, Brendan, and their dad. And for Creed 3, it missed that element that could have turned the movie into a masterpiece. If we started navigating the world through the eyes of Damian and gradually watching Adonis' life from a third perspective, then switching back to Adonis, it would have made so much impact than starting with Adonis. We already know he's a champion by now, and him and Bianca got married, so we don't have to explore him more than we've already done. So I hope they'll make it up on the fourth one. After all I said, Breathe Free embraced the hero story and embellished it with breathtaking cinematography, introducing us to one of the most creative ways to film a boxing match, perfectly visualizing what goes into Adonis' head. Clearly he got so good at boxing to the point we can't keep up with him, unfolding a story about two brothers reuniting with one of them seeking revenge. Michael B. Jordan really delivered as an actor and as a director, forging this chemistry between him and Jonathan Majors. Jonathan played the cards he dealt because there's so much you could do as an actor, and it goes back to the director and the writing team, but in general their work was phenomenal. Having a feature song by J. Cole was something refreshing, like to actually hear bars in the background. That shit got me pumped up. The hatred and the guilt between the two brothers forces them to lean on violence to solve things. And the interesting thing is, the film industry evolved in terms of how to show violence on screen. If you're interested in the history of violence in the film industry and the gaming industry, I recommend clicking this video. There you go, click it. Click it, please. Click it. You'll like it.